Thanks for logging on to MyFoxHurricane.com. So here we are pretty much at the peak of the season, the peak being tomorrow, Saturday, September 10th. And we've been seeing this activity. The good news really has been with all the activity, there's really been no real threat to land. So Hurricane Earl passed to the east of Bermuda as expected yesterday. There is Bermuda. And you can see it's now working its way away from time to time. We see that eye clearing out right now, maybe some clouds starting to fill back into this. So the really interesting thing is, and we talk about this all the time, is that forecasting of intensity. That's something that continues to be a struggle with this. Now, and this really didn't make a big difference, but remember, we were talking about this would potentially or quite likely would become a major hurricane, maybe even winds up into that Category 4 status. It just really never materialized. It basically stayed right around that Category 1, Category 2 status as it made its way past Bermuda, and it looks like it will stay that way with no significant strengthening before this becomes an extratropical system. But they did get those tropical storm force winds over Bermuda. Things look like they fared pretty well, which was really expected with Bermuda. They're pretty accustomed to getting those strong winds from these passing systems. So here's the latest: 34.2, 61 degrees west. Top winds right now are only 100 miles an hour. It is moving to the northeast at 22 miles an hour. So currently it's moving pretty fast, but it's going to continue to push on to the northeast, and then as it starts to merge with a frontal boundary, it's actually going to slow way down and just kind of hang out across the North Atlantic. But by that point, it is really a non-tropical or an extratropical system. Still some strong winds for the next, say, 24 to 36 hours, and then those winds will start to die down. There you see 100-mile-an-hour winds. Then it becomes that extratropical system, kind of hangs out for a little while, and then will work its way out over open waters. But again, the good news is it's not making landfall anywhere. It is causing some issues for some shipping concerns, and that is just about it. Now, of course, we mentioned we're at the peak of the hurricane season. We do have other areas that we're watching. You can see we've got a few areas out there. We've got this one disturbance, about a 30% chance of some development with this. The big thing with that is it really has this very narrow window to do anything, because as it continues to work its way to the north and west, it's going to start to move into an environment with some stronger wind shear, and the conditions just are not all that favorable. We have some more favorable conditions, but we also have some drier Saharan air that is still posing at least some issues. About the one that has the best chance is actually a wave that is working its way off the coast of Africa over the next couple of days. That's the one that at this point the computer models are really picking up on. But the word of caution with that, we've seen that a number of times, and it's really hard to say a whole lot about a system that is still actually over land and forecasted to move off. And to say exactly what that is going to do, that's a tough sell. So that's something we'll watch. But remember, that's a long shot and it's a long ways off. And what we've seen really time and time again is so many of these systems, with the pattern that we've had, they basically just work their way out over open waters. But it's hurricane season. You've got to watch these areas. So there's Hurricane Earl working its way onto the north and the northeast. And then as you focus across the eastern Atlantic, there's that wave just starting to work its way off the coastline. Other than that, it actually looks fairly quiet, because you see those other systems, those other disturbances, as far as the Fox model is concerned, just don't really materialize. And we're kind of seeing that as well with the GFS and the European, those major computer models. So we'll keep watching them, and we'll keep you up to date right here on MyFoxHurricane.com.